Hi everyone. Okay, so I'm so excited. Okay, so this is my first beauty spotlight review. It's really my first review video at all on my new YouTube channel. Okay, contain my excitement. All right, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Cookie. I am the creator and writer on the Charming Cheshire blog, and I actually had to stop blogging for a while because a whole bunch of stuff came up. And really, I had been thinking and brewing in my head on whether or not I wanted to start a YouTube channel because I'd had so many requests to actually do tutorials, which I'm like, okay, how can I give a good tutorial on my blog without doing like rows and rows of pictures? And I really wanted to kind of be more interactive with my readers, and I thought, you know, I need to just like bite the bullet and start my YouTube channel. So here I am. I'm so happy you're joining me today. I'm so excited. Okay, so on to the review. So we are going to be reviewing the Lorac Pro 2 palette today. I've had it since it came out. I bought it as soon as it came out. I'm an eyeshadow addict. You need to know this now about me. So as soon as it came out, I bought it. I'm like, I'm gonna write a review on it, and then the whole blogging, or non-blogging I should say, stuff came up and I put it off, and so now here it is. We're going to be reviewing it. So let's talk about the packaging first. The packaging is very similar to the Lorac Original Pro, which I do indeed have. I have them both, so I can kind of give you a little comparison on the two. The Original Pro is a black packaging, and the Pro 2 is a light gray packaging. They both have that sort of soft leather exterior, very, very thin, very optimal for traveling. I've traveled with it quite a few times and I haven't had any problems with it. It has a magnetic closure, no clasp, no clip. I haven't had any problems with it. I thought I would, just kind of, it doesn't feel like the magnetic closure is the best, but it really is pretty good. So I've traveled with it. What I normally do is I just kind of stick it in a Ziploc bag. That way the shadows kind of don't get everywhere in my bag. And I stick it in between some folded clothes, and that pretty much keeps it contained. And I have any problems with it at all. Like I said, I've traveled with it for, you know, at least 4 times and I haven't had any issues. So I'm happy about that. Now on the inside you've got your mirror. It does not come with a brush though, so if you're traveling with it, just keep that in mind. You will need to bring brushes of your own unless you want to just use your fingertips. Now on the inside, this palette was geared towards being more of a cool toned palette compared to the Original Pro. Let's see if I can hold them both up. So here we've got the Original Pro, here we've got the Pro 2. Oh, and my cat is now on my lap. Hang on. So this could happen a whole bunch in my videos. I have 4 kitties. She's not feeling very camera happy today. I have 4 kitties, so at any given moment there may be a cat suddenly popping up, you know, in the video, and her tail's just gonna stay with me now. All right, so her name's Cinderella, by the way. Compared to the Original Pro, the Pro 2 has a lot more cool tones in it, okay? So the Original Pro was made more for just being a basic neutral palette with a good range of light to dark. The Pro 2 has a lot more cooler tones in it, but what kind of astonished me was, even though it had been like promoted as being a cool tone palette, it actually does have some warmer tones in it, which I found kind of interesting. It has a yellow toned nude. It has a light peachy pink. It has a rose gold. It has a pink toned nude. It has a medium warm brown, and it has a dark brown. So I was just surprised because they do have some warmer tones in here, but I was pleasantly surprised. You know, I was happy because it does make it a little more versatile in my opinion. All right, so the quality of the shadows, they are super, super soft. Now, when I say soft, I mean super soft. They're creamy. If you look, let me see, I'm hoping you can see. If you look at the packaging, you can see where the shadow has kind of smudged out and around the pan and has gotten onto the palette itself. Now, I'm not taking my brush, sticking it in there and swirling like mad. No, 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 no. I'm being very careful. You know, I heard that this was going to be a very soft shadow palette, so I worked with it carefully, and I'm still getting shadow all over the pan. So that shows you how really creamy the shadows are. For example, let me take one of the darker shades. I'm barely, here so you can see, I'm barely gonna kind of wiggle my finger in it and see, can you see how much I've picked up? Let me do it again. Do you see how soft it is? Now watch. If I swipe it, do you see how soft that is? It's like, I wish I could just jump in there and we could just sit around and talk makeup instead of being on this opposite side of this computer here. Do you see how really soft it is? It's very, very soft, okay? And it blends really, really, really easily and really, really well. Okay, that's how soft it is. Am I okay with that? Would I say it's good quality? I think it's good quality because the shadows are very, very richly pigmented. You don't need a whole lot to get a good, you know, rich, vibrant eye look. I say that the problem with it is that you do have to work very carefully, very slowly, very methodically. You know, you can't just jump in to, you know, blending it all over your face. I recommend using brushes that are maybe a little more densely packed. When you blend out very slowly, take your time. You know, be careful when you're pick up just a little bit of product at a time, and, you know, keep adding more as needed. Just be careful when you use a product like this. I've had people that have I know people that have returned the product because they thought it was just far too soft, and, you know, their palette was getting far too dirty, etc., etc. I like it, but then again, I'm a huge eyeshadow addict and I want all the eyeshadows in the world, so you know, that's just me. Now, let's go ahead and go through the colors real quick. You've got 8 matte shades on the top and 8 shimmer shades on the bottom. Starting from the left, working our way across the right, the matte shades are Buff, Light Brown, Cool Gray, Nectar, Plum, Navy, Charcoal, and Black. Now, starting left to right with the shimmer shades, we have Snow, Beige, Rosé, Mocha, Chrome, Silver, Jade, and Cocoa. Okay? Now, let's talk about the shades in this palette that I just absolutely adore. I am a huge, huge fan of Rosé. I think Rosé is just the most gorgeous rose gold shade. It's very pigmented. It picks up the light beautifully, and I think it's great for an all-over look. I think it's great for highlighting the inner corners of your eye. I think it's just gorgeous. Nectar is the most amazing light peachy pink matte shade. Again, very richly pigmented, very, very gorgeous, good for multiple different looks. Chrome is a very interesting, I'd say it's like a taupe silver. It's not too shimmery, but it almost leans both towards being cool and warm tone, so it depends on what you add it with. You could go either way. I really, really want to love the shade Navy, but it's very difficult to work with because it is so dark and it is so pigmented. If you do an all-over eye look with it, or just on the lid, or blending out in the crease, or however you want to use it, you have to work very slowly and very carefully with it because it can get overboard very quickly. The best way I found to use this that I really love is I love to do a navy blue eyeliner look, or maybe like a navy blue wing. So I'll use a blue pencil, blue eyeliner, and then I'll just very carefully with a very precise small brush, I'll add that navy shade right on top of it, and it makes it pop really well, and it looks gorgeous on the eye. And then black is an excellent, you know, just plain matte black shadow that's nicely pigmented, blends out well, and I just love it. Now for the colors that I'm not too fond of in this palette, Buff, but that's just a personal preference of mine. Buff is a yellow toned nude and it's matte. On my lid, it does not show up very well. I mean, you blend it on and it's like, where did it go? Which is funny because I don't have yellow undertones in my skin, but it's such a light color. Even though I know it's there, I see it's there because I see it mattify in my eye. It just doesn't show up that well, but I do like to use it as an all over shadow on my entire eyelid. If I want to do a sort of softer eyeshadow look and, you know, I'll apply Buff all over and then I'll add shadows and blend and buff it in over buff it in over buff. It's like they knew. Another shadow on here that I'm not too fond of is Jade, which is sort of a dark ivy with some, you know, light sort of gold and rustic shimmer in it. Very, very subtle. It just, with a name like Jade, I wanted it to be rich and vibrant and green, and it just doesn't come off that green on your eyes. The best way I found to use it to make it appear more green is to use a green sort of primer underneath, if that makes sense. Something that, like Maybelline's Color Tattoo or NYX Jumbo pencils, something that gives it a tacky base that the shadow can adhere to, that's green underneath, so when you apply that Jade over top, it adds a little bit more green tone to it. It's still not as jade colored as I'd like it to be, but it's very workable. I did a beautiful look once that was a green eyeliner, and then I blended the jade shadow just in the crease, pulling it up towards my eyebrow, and it was very dramatic and gorgeous, and I did like it. Okay, now the cost of this palette is $42, plus if you order online, plus, you know, your shipping and handling. You can get it at Ulta, you can get it at Lorac's website. Do I think it's worth $42? Oh, my kitty's meowing. I think she has a mouse. A fake mouse, not a real mouse. Oh no, she has a string. She's bringing me a string. Do I think it's worth $42? I do. I paid the $42 for it. I'm not returning it. I like it. Like I said, I know a lot of people that did return it. So it depends on how patient you are in wanting to apply your shadows, in my opinion. If you have to get up early, if you have to get dressed for work very quickly, you may not have a whole lot of time to apply the shadows. You know, if you don't like fussing to get ready before a big event, you know, or dinner, you know, you may not want to take the time to work with the palette. I like taking time to get ready for work. I can do that. I work a little bit later in the day and late into the evening, so I have the time on my hands to work slower. When you compare it to the original Pro is not quite as creamy. So if you have the original Pro and are thinking about getting the Pro 2, keep that in mind. The Pro 2 is a little bit softer in texture. So if you already had problems with the original Pro, if you thought they were too soft, you probably won't like the Pro 2. I would recommend it. I would, because I like it. I love eyeshadows. I love that it's cool and a little warm toned. You have just enough warm tones in there, so it's kind of, you know, very diverse. You could do so many different looks with it. In fact, today I am wearing, let me see if you can see, I am wearing the Pro 2. I'll be doing a little short tutorial towards the end of this video so you can see what I used. And this is more of a warmer toned look, so even though you think it only does cool tones, it can do warmer tones as well. So I think it's nicely diverse. I would say if you do not have the Pro or the Pro 2, if you're trying to decide which one you would prefer to get, if you're looking for something more basic with a good range, I say get the original Pro. If you're looking for something that sort of gears more towards a little cool tones here, a little more cool tones, a little more warm tones here, I'd say get the Pro 2 if you don't mind the shadows being a little bit softer. Personally, I would just get them both, but that's just me. Like I said, I'm an eyeshadow addict, so you have to do what you feel most comfortable with. So that's it for my review. We can go on to the tutorial now. This look is sort of a, I don't know how well the quality of the videos is not up to par. I don't have good equipment. This is my iPhone. I'm using just a lighted mirror from Bed Bath & Beyond, which I'm sure isn't the best quality video, which I'm so sorry for. But if my YouTube channel takes off, you know, if I feel like y'all are enjoying it, I'll get better equipment, the quality will get better, etc. so forth. Anyhow, so the look I'm doing today, I hope you can see, it's a rose gold with some brown and some peach shades in it. So without further ado, we'll go on to the tutorial. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so to start off the look, I've already primed my lid with Urban Decay's Primer Potion in Original, and then I used, let me see if I can find it really fast. And then I used NYX's Jumbo Pencil in Strawberry Milk. Usually I prime my eyes with just milk, so it gives it a nice white base. It makes colors pop more, but since I'm doing a sort of warmer toned look with you know, some peachy pink shades and a rose gold shade, I decided to use Strawberry Milk instead, since it has a, you know, a pink tone to it, so it'll kind of make the colors pop a little bit more. All right, so first I'm going to start with my Real Techniques base shadow brush, and I'm going to be using this shade Nectar, which is right here, this lovely you know, peach, light peach pink. All right, tapping off the excess, I'm going to apply it right above the crease and past the inner corners of my eye, rounding out towards my nose. Just a little bit of it at a time, just blending it, working it in. It is a very soft matte shade, so it blends really well, but I really like how Strawberry Milk gives it a nice sort of tacky base to apply to. And the cool thing about Strawberry Milk is that it is a little, it has a nice sheen to it, so you don't really need to apply a brow highlighter because it kind of gives you a little bit of a sheen, you know, right there below your eyebrow already. And I'm not a huge big fan of applying eyebrow highlighter. I think just because my eyes are so small and I don't have much space between my crease and up to my eyebrow, that I prefer, you know, not to like try to add too many colors there because it fills up very quickly. All right, so I'm pulling the shadow all the way out, winging it towards the tip of my eyebrow, and then in rounded around my nostril, like I said. All right, now I'm going to take the shade and pull it right underneath my bottom lashes and connect it up to the top, just because I want to kind of continue the color around. I always find, because my eyes are so small, and I always find that when I do this, it just kind of, it opens my eyes up a little bit. I know you'd think it'd kind of close them, and it would with probably a darker color, but with a color this light, you know, I like pulling it down and connecting up to the top. That way I can kind of open up the outside area a bit more, if that makes sense. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to take a pointed tip shadow brush. This is from Coastal Scents, I believe. Yes, and it is the brush BRCN09. I'm going to take the shade Mocha from the Lorac Pro too, which is this nice auburn brown right here. I'm hoping that's in the camera shot. Nice shimmery medium auburn brown. I'm going to take it in the crease and then blend it up, not quite as high as I brought Nectar, because I'm going to fade it out. So that way it's a little bit darker to the crease and then it fades out to the lighter peachy tone above. So still bringing it in towards the inner corners of the eye, just like I did with Nectar, but not, like I said, not blended as far out as I did with Nectar. And just keep adding and blending until you're happy with the result. All right, and then same thing with the bottom. Apply it just under the lashes, but not quite as far out as I did with Nectar. All right. Next, I'm going to take another Coastal Scent brush, and this one doesn't have a name. How rude. This is very similar to the pointed tip, but it's not quite as pointed. It's a little more rounder. It's a little more densely packed bristles. We're going to take the shade Cocoa, which is the dark, ooh, is it in there? The dark brown shimmer with the pink and silver, very, very, very fine micro shimmer. All right, now this one I really recommend if you're going to use Cocoa. Really tap it off and work slow because it gets dark so quick. And I'm just going to apply this just right where the crease is, really. I barely want to fade out because I want it to fade out from Cocoa to Mocha to Nectar. Ooh, this just sounds like a yummy eyeshadow combination, doesn't it? Just so I have a nice dark crease, just to give it a little bit of depth. Like I said, really make sure that you tap it off because it will get very dark. Now, if you're smudging a bit onto the eyelid, that's okay because we're actually going to put another color right over. Try not to if you can, but you know, you don't have to be super precise in that crease. And then same thing, whatever's kind of left on the brush, because like I said, it's dark. I'm just pulling it right there, right underneath the lashes. I have a tendency to get very watery eyes, and since my eye crease is right there, the water, the liquid just kind of, it drips down, and it always smudges my eyeshadow. So this is probably the most eyeshadow I like applying under here, and really this is a lot for me. But anyhow, all right, so last shadow we're going to use from the palette is the shade Rosé, right here, that gorgeous rose gold. We're going to take the Rosé shade, and I'm going to use a flat shadow brush. Coastal Scents, let's see, BRCNO2. I'm thinking this one and the pointed tip are from the 22 Coastal Scents brush kit, I think. Don't quote me on that. All right, so we're going to take Rosé, and we're just going to pack it lightly, pressing it down onto the lid. Like I said, the Rosé is going to cover up a little bit of those smudges that you had if you brought any of the brown down onto the crease. We're only bringing this up to the crease, and we're stopping there. So like I said, just on the lid. I love, 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 love this shade. I think it's gorgeous. Even if you're not using it for an all over look, you can just apply a little bit in the corners of your eye, and oh, I swoon. It's gorgeous. I love it. All right. Like I said, add a little bit of a time, work slowly. This palette it's very easy to work with if you take your time. I mean, look, you can see there's really not a whole lot of fallout on my cheek, but I like to take my time and work slow since these shadows are very soft. All right, there. So that's the eyeshadow look we're going to do. Now, what I did to finish out, because I don't want this video to go on forever, how I finished the look was with a few coats of mascara. I used Benefit's They're Real, top and bottom. I used Urban Decay's 24/7 Glide On Pencil, and I believe it's Demolition. Yes, Demolition for the outer wing. And then I used the shade Underground, and I lined it just on the inner part of my eye. And then I took a rose gold eyeliner. Let's see, I think it's the Silk I'm always afraid I'm going to say this wrong. Silkissime? L'Oreal. I think it's Silkissime. If I get that wrong, I am so sorry, L'Oreal. I love this stuff. I love it. I have their rose gold. It's a highlighter pencil, and I just used it on my waterline just to kind of open up the eyes a little bit more. You can even use a little bit in your crease if you want to. It works really, really well with this eye look. And that's it. Alright everyone, so that's it for the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I'm so sorry the quality isn't the greatest. It will get better, I promise. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the tutorial. Let me know if you are enjoying the new channel. I'd really want to get interactive with you because I want to know if you're liking what I'm producing so I can just keep producing, keep giving you stuff that you want to see. You know, let me know if there's any palettes or anything out there that you'd like me to review. I love my eyeshadows. I love my eyeliners. I'm a big eye girl, so let me know if there's any other products out there that you'd like me to do, any subscription boxes. I do those as well. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you liked it. Like I said, that's the way that I know whether or not you're enjoying what I'm producing. Let me know if you bought the palette, if you want to buy the palette, if you're thinking of buying the palette, what this video, you know, may have drawn you towards, whether you don't want to buy it now, whether you do want to buy it now. Let me know the looks that you create with your palette. You know, I really like to get interactive with all of you and get to know you better. All right, everyone, happy makeuping. I'll see you all very soon. Bye.